tour can actually hear it. If you have any trash, keep it in the trash bins located in the back and downstairs. These benches up here on the top deck are not bolted to the ground, so try not to lean, sit, or stand on them. Do not stand on life jacket boxes either. We don't need you guys getting injured or falling overboard. But to begin our tour, that island we just passed with all the people on it, on your left-hand side, is called Casino Island. In the early 1900s, it did have a facility on it, which was called a game annex. And this facility was mainly used for the men to come retreat after their long days of work, have a couple drinks together, play some cards, a little poker. Now that facility did burn down only a couple years after being built, and the rumor was that the wives were not satisfied with how much money their husbands were bringing home because it was all going to the gambling at this facility. And mysteriously, that facility did burn down after all these women were pretty fed up with their men not coming home at night. That is now part of the Scenic View Park, which is connected to the mainland with that green footbridge. You will see they do have a public beach and playground. Right now we are going into the Millionaire's Row or Millionaire's Colony. Back in the 1900s, a lot of millionaires would come up to Alexandria Bay, and they would stay on the mainland in the hotels. Started getting pretty crowded because it was getting pretty popular up in this area. So these millionaires have started to build these wonderful mansions on these islands out here in the water. A lot of them are not original because the Great Depression did hit and they were burnt down thinking that these millionaires could gain some insurance money. Insurance companies weren't going through very good stages either, so they didn't really gain much money from their home's values. The first island of the Millionaire's Row you're going to see is on your left-hand side, which is Cherry Island. It has 3 homes on it. The first one on the tip of the island is the green house, which is called Twin Pine Tree Home. I did have an identical home standing right next to it, and these 2 homes are owned by Abraham and Nathan Strauss. And these 2 men were the co-founders of the A&S department stores, which we now know as Macy's. The next island on Cherry Island is that white one called Casablanca, which means White House in Spanish. And that is owned by the Amsterdam family of Key West, Florida. All around the island you're going to see that there is a seawall. If you look on your left-hand side, you will see the lions and gargoyles. Notice they are pointing towards the opposite side, which is towards the Canadian mainland on your right-hand side. Also notice that their eyes and mouths are painted red. This was thought to keep evil ghosts and spirits away. Now the rumor was that they would actually hang a red lantern in the lion's mouth, saying that it was secure enough for bootleggers to come from the Canadian side to the American side without getting caught by authorities during Prohibition. And then the last home on Cherry Island you're going to see is the Winley Lodge. The last home built before World War I out here in the Thousand Islands. This was built for the Nellie Fraser family. Actually built from by the Garlick Brothers, which is a local construction company which is still in business today. Now if you turn your head quickly to your right-hand side, you're going to see a rock with lots of trees on it. This is Devil's Oven. At the bottom of this island, you're going to see a little cave. This cave goes in about 30 feet or so, and the rumor was this is where a pirate of the area once stayed. The pirate's name was Bill Johnston, and he stayed here for 3 days and 3 nights. Excuse me, I asked you not to stand on the benches the first night. Thank you. He stayed there for 3 days and 3 nights after burning down the British mail steamer, the Sir Robert Peel. Authorities did catch him when they found his daughter Kate bringing him supplies and food, and he was sentenced to life to prison. Now the judge did pardon his sentence, making him the lighthouse keeper of the Rock Island Lighthouse, which is about 5 miles ahead of us right now. And he stayed on that island until he died at the age of 84. The island on our left-hand side we are passing right now is called Cuba Island. It got its name because it does resemble the island nation of Cuba. And then you turn your head again to your right-hand side, you're going to see Robinson Island or Wheel one stood on the opposite end of the island. Now this next structure you're going to see is a newer home. The foundation is the original hotel and restaurant that burnt down in the 1950s. Now a hotel is a hotel or motel that is only active by boat. Next on your right hand side you're going to see the island that does not have a home on it. This is called Stony Crest or Jewel Island. Now, one time it did have a 30-room mansion standing on it. It was a little bit bigger than it is now. But on the opposite side of this island is the wide enough for ships to get to safety. They had to get rid of